Today is Tuesday, June 7th, 2016. This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and the title of this rant will be Trump and O'Reilly, Rich, Educated, Racist Buffoons. But unfortunately, they have a lot of influence. So yesterday was a pretty interesting thing in that Trump own campaign staff had indicated to his surrogates, let's cut back on criticizing the Mexican-American, actually he's just an American, judge in his Trump University scam trial. Let's cut that back. Trump got on a conference call with him and said, oh, no. You take it up. You ratchet it up even more. I got your back. And if the reporters call you, ask about me being a racist, you accuse them of being racists. So doubling, tripling, I said the new world, he's Googling down on it, 1 plus 100 zeros. He's Googling down on the thing. It shows just an incredible indignancy in Donald Trump. It shows an incredible amount of narcissism. It shows that he has been so blanketed, cocooned, so much so that he thinks his shit doesn't stink even in a court of law, and that he has absolutely no off switch when he is talking about his own perceived egregiouses or his own perceived enemies. And he's using his candidacy for the presidency of the United States to go after a judge on a case against him. Now, he's had thousands of cases against him, and he's won most of them. So what is the point of doing this? Well, it goes back to he thinks that he's so great that he can go after this guy. And this has been brought up by every single person that this really, really is racism. That he's absolutely saying, and what he is saying is basically the definition of racism. If you're using someone's race against them, then that is racism. And of course, we also know that this judge was born in Indiana in 1953. His father came from Mexico, became an American citizen, worked as a steel worker, I believe. His mother came from somewhere over, I believe, in Europe, and that his father came to the United States before Trump's mother came to the United States from, I believe she was from Scotland. Who's the real American here? But again, Trump, and then he doubled down with that by saying that a Muslim judge should recuse himself or herself in a case like that because they would be prejudicial against Trump. So this is opening up the biggest can of worms for him. And every major Republican elected official is running, I'm not runting, sprinting away from this whole thing. But here's the dilemma. Mitch McConnell said he didn't agree with it. But that Trump should be president because Trump is going to be able to nominate the right federal judges for the Supreme Court. So he agrees that what Trump has said is a racist statement, but he says he should be president so he can nominate more white judges who are just as racist as him, let's just say, to be a judge and enforce things under the law. Makes a whole lot of sense. Paul Ryan, who absolutely got nothing when he endorsed Trump. The hope was he would ratchet it down, and people were saying, hey, now that you've won, you're the presumptive nominee, it's time to cut back on all of this crap, all of this stuff, and start going into the general election. And Trump has gone way off the deep end on all of this. It's not going to affect him with those who are already firmly in his camp. He's got them. But what is that going to do? We already know that he is way, way behind in the Latino vote. We know he is way, way behind in the black vote. We know he is way, way behind in the Asian American vote. is this going to further show his true colors to women who are going to be the majority of the voters this year? So it certainly seems that everything that he is doing is making it worse for him to actually become a viable candidate that can actually win the presidency of the United States. And for him to do this at this time, because they said there is a strategic time, that at this point in time, in 2012, the Obama candidacy group, re-election campaign, was able to define Mitt Romney so well that he was never able to recover from it, that he was a rich, disinterested hater, who wanted to screw the average working person out of their money. And right now, Trump is defining himself to most of those people who would normally not vote for Trump. And the question is, can he ever get that back? I don't think so. There are so many people coming out against it. And the question is, where does the GOP go from here? Because I just want to bring in one other quick thing. So Bill O'Reilly last night, another rich, white, educated, racist buffoon, basically got up there and didn't discredit the judge. He basically indicated that in the issue of interest of fairness, the judge should just recuse himself from the lawsuit, drop himself as being the judge on this whole thing, which again goes to the point that he was agreeing with Trump that if you're rich, you're white, you're educated, and you don't like someone of a different race, nationality, creed, color, etc., just make a huge, huge stink about it, and then blame them and say, hey, you can't be unbiased in this opinion. You have to be biased because you are who you are, and I'm a rich white guy, and so you need to recuse yourself. And, O'Reilly made himself look even dumber than Trump in that same way. Of course, can Trump be any dumber in this thing? Now, again, where does the Republican Party go from here? Okay, there's at least 4 to 6 candidates for Senate who are current Republican senators who are running in states that Obama won in 2012. They don't have that off-year election like they did when they got elected in 2016, and their chances are not looking good right now, which would mean the Senate would go back into the hands of the Democrats. All right. Now, the Republicans in the House have over a 30-seat majority, and that could whittle away to 10 or less. And if this keeps on going up, then this could mean that even the House could possibly be in play. So that all of the things that Hillary and Bernie want to do, increase the minimum wage, firmly establish that from now until eternity is over, that global climate change is real, that we need to have comprehensive immigration reform, that gay marriage and LGBT rights are here to stay, that a woman has a right to decide what to do with her body, what other things, an increase in the minimum wage, etc. These are the things that can actually be enacted if Hillary is able to get the House and the Senate, which right now may actually happen, could actually happen. Things would have to go down pretty far for that to happen. But could it happen right now? And just 2 other quick things on this is that the problem that becomes, number one, you have senators, Republican senators in states that Obama won. If you have the first lever that goes to Hillary, and then you have the second lever that goes to the Democratic candidate because you don't want to vote for the Republican for senator in that state, what are your chances of going straight down the ticket and vote everything Democratic? Much better when you're going to take the first 2 right away. And of course, where is this going to play in those true battleground states? As you remember, the battleground states are some of the previous battleground states may not be battleground states because they may be firmly entrenched in the Democratic hands. So this is a big thing. And I think that one thing that Lindsey Graham said yesterday is very poignant. You know, I've listened to him, and he's really able to joke about, you know, his own position. But he is a conservative, and he espouses conservative views. And he doesn't like Hillary whatsoever, all right? But he does have that streak of conservatism where there is a specific point of view that, you know, you have to stay with your interests. You have to stay with what it is that you actually believe in. And he made a very poignant statement yesterday when he says, is the love of your country more important than your hate of Hillary? Again, will that come back to bite Trump in the ass?